Advocate R.N. Vats ji. I think you have been introduced by the worthy principal of Deshbandhu College. I don't have to add to your qualifications. I don't have to add to your capacities. I don't have to add to your vision. It is, I think, a matter of great pride that you are heading. You are the chairperson of the committee, management committee of Deshbandhu College, and definitely the college is benefiting with your vision and your experience. Professor T.N. Singh, our keynote speaker for today, I would like to welcome you, sir, that you spare time, and you are one of the very, very well-known expert on Indian philosophy, and I think the participants are going to learn a lot from your vision, from your knowledge. Captain Parminder Sahgal, I also am very glad that you are guest of honor here. You are a very dynamic person and you are looking after various activities of the university, coordinating with different colleges. Professor Rajiv Agrawal ji, the dynamic principal of Deshbandhu College. Dr. Aditya, IQAC coordinator. Dr. Ruby Mishra, we heard you. You are the backbone of this program, and I would like to congratulate you that you have been successfully able to conduct such an important program and also got so well-known speakers on various days of this workshop. I would also like to thank Dr. Varsha Baveja, Dr. Alok Kumar, NSS coordinators, Dr. Jagpal Grover, Dr. Monica Sharma, Dr. Robin Sharma, and of course, I would not like to forget the contribution made by very dynamic students, NSS students, starting with Ms. Bhavya Jain, Ms. Kirti Virmani, Mr. Sujit Mishra, Ms. Asha Lakra, Miss Manashwani Rajput. So all of you have really contributed, and this is what is the purpose of organizing a workshop, that there should be active participation and coordination between different people. And this is what NSS actually is all about. NSS is about making students more mature citizens of our country by taking responsibilities. Now, today we are, like my worthy principal, Professor Rajiv Agrawal, informed that we are at the eve of the International Yoga Day, and tomorrow is a big day, and I think I'm busy for the whole day tomorrow because I have to go from one college to other college. And I think this is a gift of India to the world. International Yoga Day is a gift of India to the world, and the world has readily accepted it. I would like to start actually by the WHO definition of health, which appears in the preamble of WHO, which was adopted in 1948. And the WHO definition of health actually talks about that health is not mere absence of disease. If you don't have a disease, doesn't mean that you are healthy. Therefore, that was a beginning of a very broad concept. I think the word was talking about that health is not merely absence of disease. Health is much more than absence of disease. If your body is disease-free, doesn't mean that you are healthy. For becoming healthy, there should be many other conditions. And I think in the workshop theme that you have, where you are talking of meditation also, you are actually expanding the definition of health from mere absence of disease, from mere being in a physical form to beyond. And I think that is the critical difference between West and the East. We must understand this difference between West and the East. West and the East are two different theoretical premises, are two different orientations. And if some of you get chance, please read. There is a book by Edward Said. It is called Orientalism, very this kind of a difference is being seen. Now, what West call as, West looks at body and has done great, I think, research on even minor, tissues of the body. So there is something called workout that the West is known for: workout, exercise, and aerobic. These are the kind of things that the West is. Now, there we merely concentrate on the body, on the muscles, on the bones, on the tissues. And there are targeted exercises they have come up with, which would actually target a particular part of a muscle. So they have done great. And that is what is Western thought. They are able to dissect the body into different parts. It reminds me of great philosopher, Western philosopher, René Descartes. And René Descartes said, cogito ergo sum, which means I know, therefore I am. Now, this is a very critical part of philosophy, Western philosophy, where if you don't look at the whole, you look at the part. And this is what is called as thought of reductionism. You reduce things into minor parts and then you pick up from those parts. Now, this is the essence of Occidental philosophy or Western philosophy. On the other hand, if you come to India, if you come to China, if you come to Japan, if you come to Orient or East, you would find that we do not look things in parts. We look at things in whole. And this is the difference. Look at yoga. You go to China, look at Kung Fu. Look at I Ching. Look at Zen. Look at karate. You will find that they do not dissect body. Mind is something which is integral part of body. You cannot separate body from mind. Mind and body go together. In fact, we go to the extent of saying that mind, body, and spirits are integral part. They cannot be separated. You may separate them analytically. Now, the West is also learning this particular lesson. There is a, the entire category of disease in the Western scientific, classification. It is called somatization. Now, somatization is a very strange kind of diseases, and a very common somatization example could be irritable bowel syndrome, where they have now tried to finding out that you cannot separate, you can artificially separate body from mind, but body and mind are integrated to each other. Body and mind influence each other. And somatization are conditions where the mind is able to influence the body, like irritable bowel syndrome, like chronic headache. They are all conditions where mind and body relationship is exemplified. Now, as I told you that there is a difference between Western thinking and Oriental thinking. And India is a very good example of that, where we are talking of yoga. Yoga is not work out like the West. Yoga is work in. It is work in that yoga is. It's not work out, work in. You get inside, because Indian philosophy says your body, you are representing the Brahmand. The Brahmand is in you. So go inside. Yoga takes you inside. Yoga takes you inside. Yoga cleans you from inside. And once you are cleaned from inside, once you are at peace with you, there will be peace all around. So the peace all around, the word peace, starts from the peace within. And this meditation, these yogic exercises, you are going to then concentrations, you are going to, higher level of tapasya and all those things. They all help you to discover your peace inside and make you a truly world citizen. Vasudha ev Kutumbakam. This feeling that this world is a family can only come if you have peace inside. If you are at war with yourself, you can never realize the meaning of Vasudha ev Kutumbakam. When you say Vasudha ev Kutumbakam, you know that you and others have no difference, because you have discovered that you are in yoga, you are in union with the word. So all these philosophical ideas that have been given by great sages, that had been given by people, we think that these people, what they were doing, they were going to forests and they were sitting there in tapasya for years and years together. Now what they were doing, they were trying to discover what is the purpose of life. Why are we in this world? This was a great question. Why we come to this world and to die and disappear? This is a great question that Indian sages have been trying to discover, and we have got the whole legacy, right from Vedas to Buddhas to Jain, Mahaviras to Guru Nanaks. They all tried to discover why we are here. Now, yoga helps us in understanding the purpose of life. And that purpose of life, more you try to discover yourself, more you will be able to discover and understand outside. This is a simple Indian philosophy. And I think this is a great, contribution of India to the world. We have had contributed to the philosophical development of Asia. And I'm very proud to say, if you go to any country in the Asia, right from Myanmar to Thailand, to Indonesia, to Brunei, to Philippines, to China, to Japan, to Korea, anywhere you go, you find that there is a stamp of India's philosophical orientation. And there is a stamp and acceptance of India's philosophy. And what is that India's philosophy? Very simple, that we are all the same. We all are the same, and we are all part of a family, Vasudha ev Kutumbakam. We must remember this is a great thing that has been given by India to others. India never tried to convert, India never tried to conquer. But we were able to win over the world by our ideas, by our philosophies, by our sermons. And I think that is the greatest gift that India has given. In the 21st century, we are giving the gift of yoga to the world by means of the world accepting 21st of June as the World Yoga Day. I am very happy that Deshbandhu College came up with a very unique workshop, and I'm very glad to also know that tomorrow you are having a huge program. And I think that is a great contribution that the university is making to the world. With these words, I once again thank you that you invited me to this program.